All right, all. It's back. Birth of the Empires. So I'll note that before I begin from here, I'll note that I'm basically DFuxa, and I actually tried to do like a Let's Play series for this game here, about this same time around last year. I basically wasn't really able to really get into like a good run for the game, and it's kind of like too bad because there really isn't a Let's Play series up basically for this game really this yet. But recently I was basically playing Birth of the Federation here. And I basically I'm hot off a basic Cartare Union run, and I figure, well, I really actually want to go back to try this game again. So, without further ado, welcome back to Birth of the Empires. Alright, so Birth of the Empires. I'm gonna basically treat this to start this Let's Play. I'll note by the way that you probably have some semblance of what this game is. But for those who need a too long read type of thing, for if you're getting here. Birth of the Empires is basically a game that's basically inspired by Birth of the Federation, which is a very old 1990s game, late 1990s game. And in Birth of the Federation, you basically were faring off as one of the Star Trek empires, the Alpha Array Quadrant, the Klingon Empire, the Romulans, the Cardassians, stuff like that. And you basically were battling for dominance of the galaxy, so to speak. Birth of the Empires is basically very much the same type of thing with its own intellectual properties, so it can't be copyrighted and stuff like that. And it basically expands a lot on the gameplay of Birth of the Federation with its own mix of things. Anyhow, I'll note that unlike the Birth of the Federation, there's basically 6 empires you can choose from here as opposed to the 5 in the Birth of the Federation. These basically are all based off of the different factions that are in Birth of the Federation. So the Coalition of Planets, for example, would be
Coalition of Planets.
They'd be basically the Federation from Star Trek, and of course you have the Hangar Trade, which is basically the the Ferengi, the Karen are basically the Klingons, etc., etc. I'll note that down here the Mega Alliance is basically based off the Dominion, which wasn't actually a faction in the Federation, but you can play them if you want to. We're gonna be playing with the Cartare Invaders, so
The Cartare Union.
we're gonna play with these guys. These guys are basically the Cardassian Union from Birth of the Federation, so their style is basically all about subjugating and controlling worlds. Basically, that's all they're all about, so should be fun playing with them. Now, I'll note that this is basically the game setup area right here, and I'll note that unlike say Birth of the Federation, you basically do in opposite order where you set up your galaxy after you pick your your faction. We're basically set the difficulty to normal. I think this will actually make it so the factions will actually do something. I'll note that if I played on easy difficulty when I was basically playing this game the last time, but if you play this in easy difficulty, the factions sometimes don't do anything, and I find it normal to at least try and do something usually, all of them, except for maybe the Charon, who will kind of just be jerks, but whatever. I'll note that the galaxy setting, by the way, here, this is actually going to make a very large galaxy too, by the way. So for those who don't know, basically if you play Birth of the Federation, you basically start with maps that say this size, for example. So a medium-sized galaxy in Birth of the Federation would be 20 width and 10 height, and it'd be this big. Probably have say this many stars in it, maybe a little bit more, maybe something like that. And that's basically what you could probably expect from Birth of the Federation map. If you have this set up to where it was you have 3 to 5 star density, you have 20 height here. 30 width. This is actually probably more akin to a large size game. Basically, it's 5 height wider than this would be a large map basically for Birth of the Federation, and if you have this up to the 20s, it's huge basically, but whatever. And I'll look we can make very big maps here, so you can have a 70 by 70 map, and look at all those damn stars. It'd be just a huge thing to go through. I'll note by the way that I'm going to basically set this up to my own standards though, so I figured I'd maybe go for 25 width here, and we'll maybe set this down to 15 width. This would be a mix of say a medium and large map from Birth of the Federation, where it's got the height of basically a large map, but it's basically half and half between a medium big galaxy, so to speak. And I'm going to set the star density down here to 25, so it's not a whole lot of sectors, but at least enough basically to get things going. We'll put the anomaly density up to 10 here, And we'll at least set minimum numbers down to 2, by the way. I'll note that this is like a thing you can actually have in this game where like, you can set like star systems are going to be basically next to like, your like, initial like, home world. But we'll just keep it down to 2 because you don't really, I find like, this is not really a game like, you really need to have like all the minimum neighbors like right next to you, so that's fine. Anyhow, let's just get into it, shall we? And I'll basically show off what this game's all about. Alright, we started in a corner apparently, that's interesting. So, I'll note that this is basically like, the game map. And basically like most of the stars is shrouded, so I can't actually see what's out in like the universe until like I basically explore it. So, very much taken from like, Birth of the Federation. We're basically starting down here in the corner, so I've got basically 2 planets around here. And something to note by the way in this game is that like, all the different like planets are gonna be like, previously named or like, priorly named before like you visit them. So if you know who like, if there's a minor race somewhere, like, there's actually a minor race right here, you can actually like, know like where you're gonna send your stuff and such. So that's interesting. We're gonna have our transport ship basically pick up a few people, I think. Now, look at the Cartare Union. Basically, they're like an invading faction, and at the start of a game, they basically start with like 1 transport, 1 scout. They have basically 4 like troops basically from like Cartare itself they can basically pick up. Basically on the planet right now, there's like 2 stormtroopers. I got like 2 to transport. They also start off with a couple colony ships. So we'll just basically have these guys do a little bit of terraforming this initially.
Select a planet for terraforming.
And yeah, taken from like the Cartare Union, basically like your like last homeworld here in the terraform, but whatever, that's fine. It basically has like a population maximum of 7 billion, so we're nowhere near basically colonizing it, but it's nice to have. All right, this scout, I want him, I think, to go here. For research, it's going to drop us all the way up to like a maximum of like 100% right away to get our propulsion deck right up. So my scout can like look around because we're in the corner. And in the card itself, I'll note the card basically is like set up to be like an industrial powerhouse with like good food at the start, but more or less it's basically like all about like producing stuff. Though really what I want this guy to do right now is just build like the science. So we're just gonna bet we got a bunch of these like going right now. And then after that, I'll probably just build like these. Now, I'll note by the way, like you probably just, briefly saw it there, but there's basically resources in this game. I'll note that basically in the Birth of the Federation, you don't really have resources, or in like say like your like starship fuel. But in this game, you basically have to have like resources for everything you basically do. So you'll have to use like titanium like to build like structures and ships. Duranium will also use for like structures and ships. Deuterium and like crystal beads for like special structures and like stuff like that. You also have like morale down here. You have like your other stuff based on Birth Federation. So a lot basically to expect here. But anyhow, let's just get this going. To boldly go, explore a new system. So during the exploration of AB Doradus, my crew basically gained some experience here. And apparently these guys didn't go over here to this sector. I didn't actually move them, I guess, so let's just make them do that right now. There's a Tauran gas nebula over here. Basically just like, going to evacuate my like my shields and torpedoes as I go to it, so that's something to watch out for, but we're not really caring about that right now, so you can go in here.
An alien culture has been discovered.
Alright, so here's basically the Storgor. These guys are basically going to be a spacefaring like race like later down the road, but right now they're basically like just like sort of sitting on their home world. You basically see like what the properties basically have. So in this case, this guy's basically very like corruptible. He's scientific and sneaky, and he's very advanced. You basically can see like down what they basically offer us. So this guy basically has like energy tech bonuses if like I like go for a researcher of him. He also has access to a couple of ships by the way if I want to build him, but they're not bad but building these things, but I mean you need to have like a lot of basically like technology to basically get this stuff, I think. Actually, what's this guy's range? So I'm not by the way some of these like ships can be very good. In this case, this destroyer here, it's got long range, so it's basically like good as my scout for like moving around. It's also got a speed of 3. A pretty decent ship this one is. Alright, let's go to diplomacy here, or actually research. Much like, you know, Birth of Federation, you have like, you know, your thing here. I just want to see if like this guy's stuff would pop up in here, but no, I guess it doesn't. So we might have to either conquer this guy or like, you know, something else basically to make use of him, but whatever, it's fine. He's got some nice plants. And by the way, you can like click on the plants and individually see like, you know, what their population is, like, you know, what resources are basically available. But this guy's got a very nice system. And I think we're going to offer this guy some trade here because he's basically cooperative right now. I was going to invade like the first guy I saw, but I mean, like, you know, unlike in this game, basically this is a game where like, you know, you're going to be like, you know, invading people or like, you know, making friends with him, like, you know, buttering off to basically joining your empire. In this case, I think we're just going to hold off and like, you know, invading this guy because he's actually like, got like, you know, cooperative attitude and like he's actually like, you know, somewhat strong with like 13 billion people like right now. Let's get this guy up here, I think. I know this is a very weak system over here of like, you know, only 14 billion people, but what I'm going to do with these like colony ships after we colonize like, you know, Carter here. Actually, even before. Let's just send these guys over here to Stoger. Something you do in this game, if you want to, you can basically like terraform people's like, you know, planets basically to like miners, so you can basically get them to like, you know, like you a lot more. And you can like, you know, proceedly like try to like, you know, basically get these guys to like, you know, join your empire faster that way. So we're going to try and do that, I think.
Select a planet for terraforming.
So let's just terraform this planet here first. It'll basically take like, you know, one turn to, you know, 2 ships to get that done. A scout can go over here for now, I think.
An alien culture has been discovered.
Alright, so here's basically the Afari. These guys are another scientific, like, you know, race. They're basically also advanced. But he's also very corruptible, so if I want to bribe these guys, I could. They got computer core test labs, apparently, so they're like, you know, they're a tech lab-based, like, you know, empire.
Terraforming completed.
Apparently these guys agreed to my trade agreement, so that's nice. And we're terraforming our first planet down here, so that'll make them a lot, you know, like me a lot more.
Select a planet for terraforming.
Let's start aiming for this big planet here next, I think. By the way, these guys are not friendly, so if I want to, could try and get like, you know, friendship treaty, but you know, I think we'll hold off on that for now. All right, the Afari over here are a lot more like, you know, populated apparently than like, you know, these guys. They got a fairly decent system as well. I'm actually quite happy about the miners having good systems, I guess. That's not bad. But here's the thing. What do I want to do in these systems? So I may actually want to try and bait these guys to sort of show off those mechanics, but you know, you really need to have like, you know, at the start of the game, really small miners in order to invade them. So I'm sort of like, you know, thinking like that might not be a good idea. Either way, we can't do anything to us. I'm just going to leave him alone. There's another miner here, by the way, so I'll listen to my guys to transfer here to look at him, I guess. You can see, like, you know, how your progress is in terraforming, by the way, with, like, you know, the little percentage down here, by the way, so that's nice.
An alien culture has been discovered.
Okay, here's the Vitolians. These guys are very advanced. They're corruptible, normal, and scientific. So, yeah, another scientific based, like, you know, faction right next door. Okay, these guys are going to invade because they're actually small enough that I can actually probably pull it off. So, to these guys here, we're just going to say hello. The Cartare unit has overlooked your world's activities long enough. It is time now to put an end to this. Counter our troops' arrival soon. We have war now. Now let's invade our first world. Alright, I'll note that in Cartare, by the way, I probably want to make sure I have, like, you know, production going to, like, you know, the science labs, so we're just going to put in, you know, another guy in here, basically get more science going. Right now, we're basically at 70% of, like, you know, propulsion, so I'll basically get that 100% as fast as possible, so, you know, we basically start getting this guy to go a little farther.
We have received diplomatic news.
Alright, so there we go. We're basically at war with the Vitolians. Our people cheer! Because we like war. And we're just going to have this guy basically invade him. I don't think these guys are going to offer too much resistance because they're very, you know, a very small, you know, sector, but that's fine. I'm just going to move you here for now. Alright, so we invaded an enemy system. So, invasion in Batolia's system has been successful. This system is now under control of the new emperor.
Our researchers have a new technology.
And there we go, we ourselves the first level of propulsion here. So, we're going to basically break down what happened. So, we apparently killed 6.271 billion people in the bombardment of like Batolia. No Titan ships were destroyed though. And they basically subjugated these guys, so that's nice. So I'll note that we basically like killed most of the people here, so there's not a whole lot of people left, but that's fine. And we'll have my transfer here. Let's move over here to Cartare. It'll take a while for these guys basically to repopulate, but they'll get up there hopefully soon. Let's see here. I'll note by the way, you have to have like resources to build like certain buildings. So these are grayed out because I don't have the titanium in the sector, but you can transfer resources from like your sector. So probably have this on by the way. We're gonna go to Cartare here, and we're just gonna make sure a resource route to Vitolia here, and then can start building stuff up in here. So I think the first thing we want to build is maybe a few mass replicators. So we'll get these going. It costs a little bit to build, but it's fine. It's going to take a little bit to build up a sector, but it's okay. I can build it up. Alright, but I totally built its construction yard. We'll build it again. I'll have maybe 5 in there, I think. Will be the plan. And right now we basically have 3, so 2 more. One more. Do we have enough for starting to produce this? But I think this guy right now was to focus on food, I guess, because food's a little bit more important to do. And all right, there we go. Cartare's basically done with its initial stuff here. Let's just see here. Because I basically have need to get money. I don't want to basically get this war bonds in here. I don't basically with the Cartare Union. Something I actually did with this game is actually made it each of the different races sort of had to only sort of real theme that they basically go after. And in the case of basically Cartare here, they're basically all about producing stuff. So you can basically kill off your credit bonus here to get lots of construction speed, upgrade speed and ship construction speed in your home if you want, and that can let you basically build up your ships faster and stuff like that. But I think we'll hold off on that, and let's just get 5 of these. I think. Okay, I'll need the resources later down the road. And by the way, I'll note that in this game, your food is actually an actual thing that you actually store and stuff like that. So if you run out, then your guys actually starve at that point. Not if you're not producing enough at the start of a game to basically do stuff.
Select a planet for terraforming.
We're just gonna terraform this last planet here, get these guys to like me even more. And over here in Mytolia, I know I have this farm, but I mean it'll probably run out at some point, so I'll probably have to start buying a few of these, I think. Alright, you built your first farm. Let's build another one. They're currently up to 1.5 billion people, so they're slowly growing up again, those guys, luckily. And we're almost up to propulsion tech level 2. I know that propulsion tech level 2, these guys can actually go a little bit farther to long range guys, so that's basically what I'm waiting for right now, is to get the scouts up a little bit more. Alright, let's have you build up in our farm.
Our researchers have a new technology.
So there we go. Now, because I basically have that done, I can move these guys a little bit farther, so we can see who's basically out here. I'm probably going to want to basically focus on my, biotech at this point, so let's move all my research over here for now. I'm not really basically explaining a whole lot here, but, you know, if you have basically played Birth of the Federation, like, you know, you basically have, like, you know, your research, like, overview here. And you guys like choose where you guys basically do the research and stuff. So at first I basically focus on propulsion tech here. So I basically get my, like, you know, scouts move like fighter, like, you know, into like the galaxy. I'm going to basically focus on biotech here, basically get some, like, you know, better food. So we can basically get like the, you know, first like level hydroponic farms. And once we like have like that stuff done, we'll basically start like, you know, researching other stuff. So that'll be the plan here.
An alien culture has been discovered.
Alright, so we basically met the Corellians. So it reminds me of Corellians from, like, you know, Star Wars, but whatever. So these guys are basically financial industrial. They're basically underdeveloped and they're low, but whatever, it's fine. They have something called the Corellian Shipyard. So they get crest bonus. They basically can build, like, you know, small ships. They have like better, like, you know, income and trade routes, shipyard efficiency. Not a bad thing to have. Okay, these guys are also someone I want to invade at some point, so we're basically just gonna read up my guys to, like, you know, invade them when I get to it. It's like there are two guys I have in here. And let's get them up there for now. Now, I'm not doing extend my range. I have to build shipyards, and you basically have to have, like, you know, a population of like 7 in order to, like, do that in these places. So I can't actually do anything with, like, you know, these guys like out here just yet. But, you know, at some point, like, get out there and say, hello, what's up? I'm invading you. So you're not cooperative, and you're angry. Alright, so over here in Cartare, we basically build ourselves some titanium mines. Now, at this point, I might, like, build a war bonds department to, like, you know, start, like, you know, boosting, like, better ships and stuff. Or not ships, but, you know, just more production, like, my industry and such. But I think what I want to do right now... I actually only have, like, all this to film right now, by the way, so I'm just going to move this off, put this here instead. We're going to build a barracks right now, I think. And I think I'm just going to build up a few more of these, like, you know, premium assembly yards for now. Just get those out of the way. Basically, want to, like, you know, maximize, like, you know, production for, you know, early as long as possible. So, you know, we're going to, like, you know, buy stuff if they need to, and, like, you know, get the credits they basically need. Put it down to, yeah, it's not great. All right, so we just ran to a Rothlarian, like, you know, ship here. These guys are, like, you know, they tend to like to, like, you know, basically attack you, so we're gonna retreat from them, I think. They probably only have a scout, but I mean, at the same time, they could probably, like, you know, hurt me quite a bit, so
Our researchers have a new technology.
we're just gonna try and get away from them. Alright, so we basically got away from those Rothlarians there, so that's nice. We also made a quick discovery in biotech here, so now I can build a better farms, but, you know, that's nice. I think I'll basically focus on, like, you know, our construction tech here next, so we'll do that. Now I can actually build, like, you know, upgrade hydroponic farms, which is nice, so that's not a thing I can do. You know, I only need to have, like, you know, so many, like, you know, something else basically get the stuff, so let's get more titanium for now. So I think I ran from this sector here when I basically attacked those Rothlarians, or was attacked by them, so they're probably up in this direction over here, these guys. Them and their cloaked ships, that's what they got, unfortunately. You're gonna actually back off, I think.
We have received diplomatic news.
Ooh, alliance. An alliance will greatly expand our political influence in this area of space. No one will be able to elude the power of our worlds. So, I know with, like, you know, diplomatic stuff here, but we have a little bit more than, like, you know, you had, like, you know, Breath of Federation. Trade is basically, like, you know, basic trade agreement. Friendship, I think, is like, you know, a little bit more advanced than that. Like, you know, basically like you're friends with each other, and like, you know, you're a little bit more like, you know, trade partners. Cooperation basically has like, you know, same thing, having like, you know, in like, you know, Birth of Federation, where essentially like, you know, you basically cooperate with each other and like, you know, letting you share your shipyards. Alliance is basically like, you know, you're actually allied to each other, and like, you know, if you actually attack them or like, you know, vice versa, or if someone attacks them or vice versa, you actually like, you know, declare war on their attacker. And of course, membership is, of course, they disjoin you. So that's all things basically happen right there. So we're gonna accept that for sure. I don't know about these guys is like, you know, so happy with me because I've been saying like, you know, terraforming the worlds and such. You know, they're quite happy about that. So.
Affirmative.
All right, so we got ourselves in alliance with them.
Terraforming completed.
And Storgo's done terraforming. Now, I'll note by the way, like, you know, I'll just move this guy over here. When it comes to like, you know, systems, you can't rate them like you can in Birth of Federation. It's actually like, you know, it's a very incomplete game, by the way. I just want to throw that out there like to start. And some things like, you know, rating weren't like, you know, added in yet, so we can't actually like, you know, rate these guys for like money yet. So that's just something to note, by the way.
Affirmative.
We're gonna go up here and start terraforming this stuff, I think, now.
Our researchers have a new technology.
Very nice. We now have access to the assembly yard and the titanium mines and stuff like that. But yeah, we go to like this guy here, for example. This guy actually, as you can see here, if like I go to like, you know, his like, you know, things he can do, he only like, you know, basically like, you know, well, I guess scouts can actually attack systems, but you know, the thing about like the scout here is that he can't actually do anything like, you know, useful for me, so just something to know about. But my little scout here, by the way, he just like, you know, he can't actually like, you know, raid people for like money and stuff like that, unfortunately. Alright, I've sort of like held off on this long enough. We're just gonna drop this down for a moment. And how much do I basically need to get like this up to like, you know, 2 turns is fine here, I think. So we're just gonna get ourselves to upgrade, you know, farms here, so you know, my guys can like, you know, produce more food for themselves. I'll note that also I've already got like enough farms in like, you know, Cartare, so I don't really want to buy more. You guys should be actually doing something besides like, you know, what they're doing right now, so build that farm for now. Trade's nice and all, but I don't really need to trade goods, so alright, we upgrade our farms here in like Cartare, so I'm getting a lot more food. And you know, at this point, let's just get the war bonds department out, I guess. I feel it's going to take me like 3 turns to figure out, so let's get this online. And the thing about the war bonds department, they'll let me basically like, you know, produce more ships and stuff, so I can send like a colony ship out here to like colonize stuff, or like, you know, get this last planet done. It's stuff I basically want to do at some point, right? So I'm okay with that. And I just realized this, we're still going up in construction tech here, so I guess we're going to get our select construction tech 2, I guess, before doing anything else. Not usually something I do with like construction, but you know, it's not a bad thing, so meh, do whatever wants, I guess. Alright, these colony ships. I want them to start terraforming stuff.
Or terraforming.
That'll take 1 turn, that's kind of overkill, so let's go after this planet here first, I think. I really don't need like to like, you know, go after like the small little sector here like, you know, this just yet, so I can just hold off on that, I think, so that's fine. Now I know these guys down here, by the way, the Stogors, I'm gonna want to basically get them to like, you know, join my alliance at some point, but you know, the question is, when will I try and get them, is the thing. Alright, these guys basically going to turn to a task force for a moment. And their combat aura will be basically to avoid, so that's fine. Up to 40% over there of that. I wish this would grow a little bit faster so we can get like the population to build a shipyard, but oh well, it's fine. We're gonna just hold off on that, I guess. Over here in Qatar, I want to basically start pumping out some, like, you know, colony ships, I think. So let's get a couple of these going. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so good. I can basically get, like, you know, enough production to get, like, you know, that done, like, you know, 3 turns as opposed to like 4. Just get a couple of these out real fast, so I can, like, you know, can start, like, you know, terraforming stuff over here, for example. Ooh, I don't like seeing that. So hull virus is a very bad thing that, like, you know, basically damages your ships. So both these colony ships now have, like, you know, no durability. If I look at, like, either of them, they'll basically have, like, you know, 1 HP basically. So 1 hull, not great. But oh well, can't do anything about that. Alright, so we got ourselves access to assembly yards 2 and pretty much Durian mines. Those aren't bad things to basically have access to, so I'm okay with, like, you know, getting them, so that's fine. But I'm gonna focus on my energy tech basically next now.
Terraforming completed.
Okay, so we basically terraform our first planet in the Bitolia system. These guys can sort of, like, you know,
Select a planet for terraforming.
go after this one, for example, and, like, you know,
Select a planet for terraforming.
just do what I can. Now, I know the card is almost basically done, but, like, it's, like, you know,
Select a planet for terraforming.
its population, so I'm gonna basically try and, like, you know, terraform this last planet and get it, like, basically, like, you know, available for, like, them to keep growing. Leave a planet over here. You guys build an Earth farm, which is cool. Now, I'll note that in terms of resources bonuses, this guy actually has some resource bonuses on it. Something I know about this game, by the way, is that, like, you know, there's basically resource bonuses, and you know, basically determine, like, you know, how much you basically produce this stuff. And apparently in Bitolia here, they can produce a lot of durium, so that's something I basically keep in mind if, like, you know, I want to start something like down the road, perhaps. If I go down here, for example, basically, like, you know, it's this guy, like, small, like, you know, bonus for iridium and energy over here. The Fires apparently have bonuses in food, iridium, deuterium, and titanium, so lots of good stuff there. These guys have a massive titanium bonus, apparently. These guys are, like, you know, okay. But I'm thinking I do want to at least have some mines in this, like, sector at some point, so that's something to look into down the road. We'll start building the basic stuff here, I guess, this stuff. Actually, let's build, like, 1 for now. I'm probably going to build a shipyard there, so I only really need to build 1 just right now.
Terraforming completed.
Yeah, excellent. We terraformed a second planet.
Select a planet for terraforming.
We'll basically work on these 2 planets here, I think, and get them done, and, like, you know, after that we'll basically colonize, like, the rest of this planet, so and basically be done with it. And that's something to note, by the way, about, like, you know, difference between, like, you know, Birth of the Federation and, like, you know, this game. In Birth of the Federation, we basically, like, you know, colonize, like, you know, new planets in, like, an already owned system. You basically would also have, like, you know, those planets, like, you know, basically, like, you know, inhabit already. But in this game, basically, if you don't have, like, you know, if you basically, like, you know, colonize, like, planets and, like, come back to, like, you know, terraform the others, you'll actually have, like, you know, these guys basically being uninhabited until, like, you know, you basically, like, you know, colonize it again. So there's actually, like, you know, some reason to, like, you know, colonize, like, all of, like, the planets in this game, as opposed to, like, you know, just, like, you know, hitting, like, 1 in, like, Birth Version, like, come back, like, till you just, like, you know, terraform the rest. So that's the thing to note there.
Our researchers have a new technology.
I now have access to the unit shipyards, as well as these other nice things, so that's nice.
Terraforming completed.
And Qatar is basically done its terraforming. At this point, we're gonna split my like, you know, tech, I think, between, like, you know, computers and, like, you know, weapons, get these both up to level 1, so let's do that right now. This guy, I think, will go over to I'm actually going to send this guy up to Baitolia actually right now, just to sort of like, you know,
Affirmative.
help get this all terraformed real fast. I'm gonna send this guy down here to actually like, you know, colonize this system. This is like one of the weakened hull ships, so I don't like, you know, lose it like in a battle or anything like that. So we'll do that.
Affirmative.
You can go up here. Over here in Qatar, I'll probably want to build a few fusion plants at this point, so we basically get access to like a unit shipyard and stuff like that. So we'll build 5 of these right now, I think. Alright, you're going to help terraform here.
A planet for terraforming.
Now, I'll note that this guy can also heal up in, like, you know, Cartare, because there's basically a shipyard here to heal him up. But we're just going to get this guy to colonize.
Colonized.
And I'll basically let us, like, you know, colonize this last planet over here. And we colonized our first planet, apparently, because, you know, we colonized the first, like, you know, planet in the Cartare system.
Select a planet for terraforming.
So 24 and 25. Let's go after this planet here for now. But I'll probably like know something right now, by the way, just to, you know, throw it out there. I actually could use this, like, you know, weakened colony ship to actually, like, you know, colonize like these 2 planets right here. And then, like, you know, these like 2 remaining ones, I got, like, you know, terraform these and, like, you know, use another one to basically, like, you know, colonize these guys again. That's something I actually do, like, you know, strategy-wise in this game if you want to. Just to throw it out there. I'm waiting for these guys probably to, like, you know, populate this world over here so I don't have to, like, you know, spend, like, you know, a colony planet to, like, you know, do anything over there. But that's just, you know, down the road, I guess, for them. Alright, so we have enough population for enough trade route in Qatar. And Baitolia basically got, like, a little bit more, like, you know, things done. So, not by, like, you know, in this game, by the way, if I look at, like, you know, the population here, we basically have, like, access to, like, you know, 2, like, trade routes right here in Qatar at, like, you know, 60, like, population. I can't remember where you, like, get your, like, your first, like, you know, trade route, but, you know, basically in this game, 60 population in a system is, like, you know, usually what you want for, like, a decent sized system in this game for, like, you know, just, again, like, a mildly, like, you know, good outcome and stuff. They still need to get a little more population of these guys in order to build what I want to over here, so we'll build our titanium mine for now, I guess.
Our researchers have a new technology.
Okay, so there's basically computers done. I'm going to keep basically researching computer labs for now because, like, you know, we're going to have to basically get, like, all these level 1 stuff, level 2, so we'll do it right now, I guess.
Our researchers have a new technology.
There's my weapons, so I now have access to science centers.
Our scientists have made a breakthrough.
Now, note by the way, like, you have something called a new special research assignment popping up here. Basically, in, like, research by the way, in, like, this game, whenever you, like, get to, like, you know, tech level 1 for, like, all your stuff here, you can do, like, a special thing here, and it's basically lets you, like, you know, boost up, like, the amount of, like, you know, stuff based research. So you basically, like, you know, boost, like, how much you might based on research and stuff down here. So that's nice. We're gonna select this one down, by the way. And thinking about it, we're gonna turn off my weapons here, I think, for now. We'll focus on basically getting, like, you know, computer tech up, I guess, to, like, you know, level 2 for now. We're a little bit going over here to, like, the special, I think, so we'll basically start, like, working on, like, this, like, you know, basically special research project, and we'll basically, like, you know, boost up my research for, like, construction weapons. And we'll just go from there. Alright, so Baitolia is basically done with its, like, you know, next titanium mine. But we're at 7, like, you know, billion population here. Once you get up to 7 billion population, you build, like, a space dock, which basically lets you, like, you know, expand, like, the range of your spire ships and stuff like that. So we'll get this going. I'm just going to buy it. And after basically have that done, just build up a few more of these. Now, you note that because I built that, I can now reach, like, this system over here, so we can now go after the Pavilions, I guess, so
Affirmative.
let's get the war of them, I guess. I can also reach these guys down here as well, but you know they're also populated, so I'm not really as interested about going you know after them right now, you know, as a thing. So we'll hold off on that.
We have received diplomatic news.
And yes, again we cheer. Hooray! War! Everyone loves war. Alright, so basically made over here to Corvellia. Let's have these guys basically make their attack run. So, invasion Corvellia system has been successful. The system is now under control of the new emperor. We basically killed off, like, you know, a good amount of their population, but it's fine. We basically, like, you know, took them over. Now, I'll note that the people are basically, like, using these, like, assaults are basically, like, you know, now down to plants here. So, two of the stormtroopers I basically had, like, you know, initially are now, like, based on, like, Bartoli as well as on Corvellia. So I know about the troops in this game is that they actually, like, you know, improve your morale, so... these guys will actually have, like, you know, better morale as a result of, like, the troops of them. Ugh. So that's nice to know about them. We'll start basically looking up here on my scout, I think, and just transport can just, you know, get down here for now. And over here, Corvellia. Apparently don't have much over here, these guys, so that's worth knowing, but whatever. Let's just build ourselves a primitive, you know, assembly yard right away.
Our researchers have a new technology.
So I now have access to my continuum scanners, is basically, like, you know, what I use basically to scan around my, like, you know, this is basically my sensor array from, like, you know, the Federation, basically. Let's just, like, scan around, see what's around you. So that's done. We'll put, like, you know, our research now in, like, you know, energy tech here, I think, and, like, you know, get that going. Very crappy system over here, but whatever. It's fine, there are crappy systems around. And over here in Corvellia, I'm just going to keep, like, you know, buying, like, you know, factories, so... just get them going.
Terraforming completed.
Alright, so we basically done our, like, you know, our planet here.
Select a planet for terraforming.
You know, I'm actually going to get this terraform real quick, so, you know, we basically, like, you know...
Select a planet for terraforming.
move both, like, you know, my better, like, you know, colonizers up to, like, you know, Corvellia, I think. We'll get a plan. So, we'll just have, like, you know, 3 of these guys work here for now. I guess I forgot to build the assembly yard up here, by the way, so... get that going. And Vitoli has basically done its stuff, so... they got basically 5 titanium mines, basically make use of it at some point, but, well, let's just start building up their automated farms, so we'll get, like, a few of these going. Down the road, they'll need them. A scout can go over there, I think. Corvellia here can, like, you know, build another, like, you know, pretty much assembly yard, I guess. And a little time, like, I'm building these up basically, so, like, you know, this guy can, like, produce his own things without, like, you know, me having to buy everything, so. That's what I'm waiting for right now with this guy. One more, I think, will be fine, and, like, you know, he can just do his own thing with premium markets for a little bit. So... I'll have 14, I think, of these, so... just get a bunch of those going for the future. I haven't been doing anything in Carter, apparently. That's a bit of an issue, but whatever. We'll just get this guy build up a few of these mines now.
An alien culture has been discovered.
So here is a Bellamar. These guys are basically regularly developed. Their credibility is high in their, financial. An export ban, interesting. Yeah, I could be like reading like these guys' descriptions and stuff like that, but there's like essentially in this game, I think there's like 100 miners you can find this game. So there's definitely a lot of miners basically like explore these guys if you want, but I'm not gonna basically read like each one of their descriptions basically. I'm just trying to like show off how the game basically plays. It's going to take one turn basically to get that done, so... Oh, I should probably note by the way, because this guy's actually in a, a place of a ship right now, he's actually able to, get his health back now, like the guy, didn't have before, so... That's the thing about that guy, now, he can, do that sort of thing.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
But we're still just going to use this guy, I think, to, just quickly terraform, or, colonize, this world and, go from there. Will be the plan.
Greetings from the Rotharian Star Network. While we do not object to occasional diplomacy and commerce, we prefer to mind our own affairs. If you honor this desire, we will remain amicable neighbors.
Yep. Taken straight out of the dialogue banks of the Romulands. But whatever. There's the reference basically ran into a territory, I guess.
Terraforming completed.
So they're apparently over here. There's like their homeworld right there apparently. They basically have access to a transport ship here apparently, so that's interesting.
Affirmative.
We're just gonna hang around their territory for a little bit, I guess. That's fine. You guys can basically just colonize this.
System will be colonized.
Affirmative.
I'm just gonna go over those guys.
Select a planet for terraforming.
Let's go after this ocean world here with you guys.
Select a planet for terraforming.
That one for those guys.
Our researchers have a new technology.
Alright, so I basically have now access to communications grid and solar panels and other stuff in here. I'll tell you what the distribution fields are all about, down the road, but you already know what the basically are basically all about. They're basically basically if you bribe people, you can take them away from empires if he stops it. Solar panels basically for research.
Terraforming completed.
And of course we got our terraforming going. You're gonna basically go down. You're gonna go up. I should really put more effort into this actually to throw out there, so let's put this up to 80 at this point. And let's put 20 in here in biotech so you can get that going for now. By the way, here's the system of the reference basically first colonized, I guess, so they have these Arctic worlds over here apparently.
Affirmative.
You can go over there for now. We basically terraform these two ocean planets over here,
A
so
planet for terraforming.
let's go for this world here, the geocrystalline one, I guess.
Select a planet for terraforming.
And we'll get that done in 10 turns, I think.
Affirmative.
And there we go. This is basically the initial start of this game here. I have to say I've sort of gotten unlucky with we're in basically place because we're gonna be at the war of these guys right away, but oh well. We'll see if they grow or not. These guys actually be a threat to be an issue, but whatever. All right, over here apparently someone's got some ships, so that's probably a miner by the way, so they're a thing.
Affirmative.
That's going to avoid their territory for now, I think, a little bit, or... Well, you know what? Until they actually come for me to, Rotharians, let's just go over here to this, sector of, the world. Okay, but I totally has done its stuff, so... We basically have like I think enough farms here for a little bit, so that's nice. Probably don't have enough replicators to build easily in one turn, but we'll just build 5 over here. Slowly getting just stuff built up over here, which is nice.
Terraforming completed.
And there we go. These guys build up the mass replicators they basically need to, like, you know, build in like one turn at least, so that's nice. I think over here, these guys, I want them to, like, you know, be like a science-based like place, so that's actually way down the road, this stuff here, but whatever. Upgrade these, we'll get those next, and we'll build up this over here in like Bitolia. And then let's build up a few more of these, I guess. These guys are going to keep terraforming.
Select a planet for terraforming.
That'll take a while to get done. That will take at least some time as well. Just go for this one, I guess, and like, you know,
Select a planet for terraforming.
I may have to, like, you know, preemptively, like, you know, colonize the system before I get these art plans done, but, you know, we'll see what goes there. Alright, this seems like a good first episode of, like, you know, the Cartare Invaders. And we'll just go along from here and see how it goes. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and just, you know, take care. And for now, that's it.